Hello, Left of Awesome. Today is Sunday, and I will be talking about the George Stephanopoulos interview with President Obama. So, in this interview, they are talking about one of Obama's proposed healthcare things, where everybody is mandated to buy healthcare. And so then Stephanopoulos says, "Isn't that a tax increase?" And then Obama says, No, it's not a tax increase. In fact, it's keeping prices down." And then Stephanopoulos says, no, I'm pretty sure that's a tax increase. If you are taking people, or because the situation is you either have to pay, you either have to buy in medical insurance, or you're fined by the government. And so then Stephanopoulos says, no, I think this is a tax. And then he reads Merriam-Webster's definition of a tax, and he's like, yeah, this is definitely a tax. And then President Obama says, the fact that you're having to pull out a dictionary means you're just stretching this, which is like the worst logical fallacy you can make. And people in debates sometimes make dumb arguments like that too, but it's like, you had to use the dictionary, therefore I'm not taxing people. Which doesn't make any sense at all, but people still think it's a justifiable argument. And what I think would be really awesome is if every president ever had to be on an LD debate team, or we had like all of the leaders of the world, like the United Nations, but instead it was an LD debate, and then we could have world leaders doing ethical debates instead of policy debates, because policy debates are dumb. And then they'd all learn how to conduct reasonable arguments, and they'd realize the error of their ways. And I'm being utopian. But another argument that Obama was making was that if I force everybody to do this, then prices stay down. So it's not a tax increase. If the government doesn't step in, then prices will go up, which is a tax increase. But here's the thing, it's not a tax increase. Higher prices are not taxes, because taxes are mandatory. And it's criminal for you to not pay taxes. It's not criminal for me to not buy a product. And especially in this situation, where the only people this is affecting, really, are the people that don't value health insurance. You're taking people's money to make them pay for a product which they don't want. So when you're creating an artificial demand for this product, which alters, like, all sorts of economic aspects of this, and so many unforeseen consequences coming of that. And also, buying things is not taxes, but the government forcing you to do things and taking your money, that is definitely taxes. Even if you think your taxes are justifiable, they're not taxes. And sort of one of the things that I wanted to talk about was lots of times people, when somebody mentions the idea of taxation being theft, people are like, no, taxation's not theft. And so then, if I provide them with, like, a definition of theft, and then show how taxation meets that definition, because, or at least any involuntary taxation, if I don't want to pay a tax, and then the government comes and takes that money from me forcibly, that is theft. And so then, instead of trying to make instead of conceding that it is theft, and then moving on to the argument, letting it evolve, so we can analyze whether theft is sometimes okay, or what other sorts of violations of rights are sometimes okay, and what are rights, all sorts of, like, really, really interesting things we can get on. People are always like, no, it's not theft, because it's necessary. But it is theft, and you can argue that there is good theft, or justified theft, and all sorts of things. But it's definitely theft. But people have this negative connotation of the term theft, so they never want to concede that anything they're doing meets that. And I think that really, really prevents lots of, like, great philosophical territory from being explored by, like, the common man. And yeah, I was sort of disappointed with the quality of discourse in that debate, or in that Stephanopoulos interview. But I sort of gained a whole lot of respect for Stephanopoulos for actually pulling out a dictionary and looking up the definition. that was pretty awesome. I'm not familiar at all with any of Stephanopoulos' other stuff, so I hope I don't regret endorsing him in this. But that's all I have to say, and I will see you guys on later.